Creating a video with Animoto is actually very easy. From the home page, you just go up to the top right corner and select Create Video. And then you can choose your video design. As you can see scrolling through here that Animoto has quite a few options, and with the exception of the ones that have the word Pro in the lower right hand corner, you and your students can use any of the templates that you see here. And if you look through them, you'll see that really all the fun ones are the ones that are free. There are a couple plain simple ones that are available for free, like this original Animoto, but otherwise the rest of them are all a little bit fancy, which, as you know, is generally what students prefer. If you see one that looks interesting, you can select it and get a preview of it by just clicking on it and then clicking on the play button. So you can see that it'll give you a preview, and if you like the look of that particular video, you can click on Create Video, or else you can go back and take a look at a different one that perhaps you'll find more appealing. So I'm just going to pick this autumn one for no particular reason, and I'm going to click on Create Video. Once the page loads, you can see the editor pretty much just walks you through the creation of a video, which is really great and easy for students to use. You can choose to change the style if you decide later that you actually wanted something different. And then you can also change the music. For whatever reason, it starts out with some sort of music by default, but you can click on that, and you can see that Animoto actually has quite a few different songs that you can choose from their own library. And then you can also upload your own music. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose something relatively benign. So hopefully from baby and kids, I can pick something. I can preview it by just hitting play. So if you like the music that you've selected, you can see down here on the right side, you can also see how long that particular song is, which will be how long your video is. A little Animoto trick. Your Animoto videos can only be the length of a single song. You cannot have multiple songs put together within Animoto. However, you can cheat and get around this by using a program like Audacity that lets you edit music and combine multiple song tracks into one. So if you really have to have multiple songs or a much longer video than these songs allow, use a program like Audacity, stitch together, like I said, however many songs you need, and then export that as a single MP3, and then you can upload that into Animoto and get a video as long as you want. For our purposes, I'm going to go ahead and choose Fuzz, and I'm going to choose Add Song. You might have noticed, actually, let me go back real quick, that when you select your song, you do have the option here also to control playback and volume and all that good stuff once you select your song. So then you can add your pictures and your videos. And here you can upload them, or you can go to any of these websites to choose your pictures, or you can even go to their own image library if you want. So I'm going to go ahead and upload some of my own pictures, since generally that's what you would be doing. So I'm going to go to Upload Pictures and Video. And I don't have a whole lot of interesting pictures, but I'll go ahead and come here to my sample pictures, and you can see I've got just the stock photos. I'm going to go ahead and choose several of these, and I can actually choose more than one at a time by holding down, if you're using a PC, the control key on my keyboard, or if I wanted to select them all, I can just click on the first one and then hold down the shift key and click on the last one to select them all. Then I'm going to hit open, and it's going to bring in all of those pictures. So as those are being brought in, I'm going to go over here to add text. So here's where I can start adding text to my videos, and you can see that you are limited to a header and then to some subtext. So the header in Animoto always appears as the larger font. You might remember noticing that from the previews. And you're also limited to 22 characters in the header and 30 characters in the text, which can be a good thing if you want to teach your students to be concise. If you do need much more text than that, then what I recommend you do is create a slide, let's say in something like PowerPoint, and put in all the text you need, export that as a JPEG, and go from there. I will say, however, that you are somewhat limited in how long any particular slide appears in Animoto. So if you have a lot of text, it might go by too fast for the audience to read it. So something to keep in mind and to let your students know as well. So this is where I'm going to type in my header. I'm going to be really creative here. And then this is where I'm going to type in additional text. You can see that it gives you updates on how many characters you have remaining, which is nice. Then I'm going to hit save. It previews it here for me. If I want to move this, I can just click and drag it around. The little gear here lets me edit my text if I need to make changes. Likewise, I can shuffle any of these around or get a bigger preview of a photo by just clicking on the little magnifying glass that appears when I hover my mouse over any particular photo. In addition to adding photos and text to your Animoto video, you can also add video clips to your project. So over here on the left-hand side where we went to add pictures, you'll notice it says add pics and vids, so you can actually also add videos through this button. So I'm going to go ahead and click here and upload pictures and video again, and this time I'm going to go for video. And I'm going to upload a little video here that I created earlier, which is a kindergarten video from a class observation that I did. So once this video loads up, I'm going to be able to edit it, so we'll give it a moment to do so. Okay, so now that the video has loaded up, if I put my mouse on top of it, you'll notice I get a little gear in the lower left-hand corner. I'm going to click on this. This will allow me to edit my video clip. You'll notice that the maximum length of any video clip in Animoto is 10 seconds. So if I wanted more of my video in this project, I would need to import it several times and take several 10-second clips out of there. Of course, this would result in a little bit of disjointedness between my video clips, but that's all that you can do. So I can adjust how much of my video I'm pulling, so I'm going to just do a short one. And then I can also adjust the clip start time. So I don't have to start right at the beginning. I can pull my 4 seconds out from anywhere in my video. So let's say I wanted to go here. I can play to see what this will look like. So let's say I was happy with that. You'll notice when I hit play that this little bar here fills up with blue to indicate how far into your 4 seconds you are. So go ahead and watch that real quick. So you can see that. And then over here I have the option of editing my clip audio. So if I do want to hear the audio in the video clip that I'm importing, then I would go ahead and choose on, and Animoto will automatically reduce the sound, or the volume rather, of the background music so that I can hear my video clip. If I want to just hear the background music and whatever the audio is that goes with the video clip isn't important, then I would turn off the clip audio. So once I'm satisfied with these settings, I can go ahead and hit save. And just like with your pictures and your text, you can go and drag this around and place it anywhere into your project. Now, the first time that I shot this tutorial, I forgot to include information about adding video clips, so I've gone in and spliced this little piece back in. So in a moment when I continue with the original tutorial, you'll notice that this video clip is no longer in my project, and that's why. That's not an Animoto glitch, that's just because I forgot to talk about videos the first time around. Once I have my video arranged the way that I think I'm going to want it, there's a few different settings that I can play with. So if you notice up here in the top right hand corner, I've got advanced settings, so I can click on that and I can adjust my title. So this is my sample Animoto. And here's where you can change the producer name. So you might remember from the previous video that I highly recommended that you create accounts for your students, in which case you might just have a generic name that'll be populated in here by default, like Joe Smith. In this case here, I've got actually my maiden name since I created this account some years ago. But students can go in and change this to reflect their own names. They can add in dates, which you can see are optional. They can add in a description as well, which is often a good idea. Unfortunately, credits and branding are not available unless you've paid for an account. You can also choose what thumbnail you want to appear for your video before people hit play and actually view your video, which is also a nice feature. Then you hit save. Some other options that you have, over here there's another little gear. So if you click on that, you can adjust when the song that you've selected starts and stops. And you can also choose your image pacing. So here's one of two places where you can adjust how long any particular slide appears in your video, but it applies to all slides in this case. So image pacing here, you can see that you have a scale between very slow, moderate, and very fast. So if I'm happy with those settings, I can save, or since I didn't make any changes, I can just exit out. And then on the right hand side, I have a few more options. If I want a particular slide to appear even longer than the rest, it won't be significantly longer, but a little bit, I can select that slide and choose Spotlight. And that will spotlight the slide. And as you can see here, when I selected the text one, it won't let me spotlight it. I can only spotlight actual photos, which can come in handy if you're doing that whole PowerPoint text option that I mentioned before. But if I select Spotlight, you'll notice that then the picture is highlighted in yellow to let me know which one I've spotlighted, and that picture will appear just a little bit longer in my final video. I can also rotate pictures from here. I can duplicate them, or I can delete them. Once I feel comfortable with how my video is set up, I can choose Preview Video. And this will give me a low resolution preview of the video. So I'm just going to jump ahead here in our tutorial since this can take a few moments, and then you'll be able to see what a preview looks like. Okay, so now my preview has been generated. So you can see here that it's put everything together nicely for me. All the images come up timed to the music. My little koala picture was up there a bit longer, all that good stuff. If I'm happy with this video, all I have to do is hit produce, or I can go back and continue editing if I see that I need to make some changes. And every time you preview the video, it'll actually render it a little bit differently. So sometimes the timing might change a little bit, or occasionally if you choose a graphic background that'll go over a photo, it might go over in just the wrong spot, so you can reshuffle it by just going back to continue editing and re-previewing the video. That said, I'm happy with how my video looks, so I'm going to go ahead and produce. So this is still just the preview, so you'll notice the quality of the image isn't that great, but once it finishes, it's going to come in a lot better.